Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the Sport Palace in Astana, Kazakhstan. This is the finals of Season 7 in World Series Boxing. The usual unified rules will be in effect. 5 fights of 5 rounds, 3 minutes per round, a minute break in between. Judges, 3 of whom will be sat at ringside. We'll use the 10-point must scoring system, and this is how, in the playoff stages, these two teams made it through to the finals. Cuba Domadores losing their first leg in the semi-final away against the Colombia Heroicos, but recovering with a 5-0 win in the second leg to make it to the finals. The Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan beating the British Lionhearts. Had a healthy advantage after the first leg of 4-1, and the Lionhearts couldn't peg it back at York Hall. I was there ringside, and it was a good match on the night, but the Arlans just had a little bit too much. So these two meet in the final for the second time in 3 years. I was ringside in Season 5. It was a cracking match, 6-4 to the Arlans. And those are the C1 categories. Those are the first 5 fights that we'll see. And what they did 2 years ago, which was absolutely crucial for the Arlans, was that they made a good start. They won that opening bout, and they finished the first 5 bouts with a 3-2 lead, with Vasily Levitt just hanging on against Erislandi Savon. No Levitt tonight. Savon is here for Cuba, and he was poised at 5-4 heading into the 10th and final bout. Yandri Toyrak, who does box tonight, needed a win to force the tie-break against Ivan Dichko and couldn't get it done, so the Arlans won 6-4. So this opening bout is really, really important for the home side, you would imagine. And we have Temirtas Jusupov up against Yоханус Argilagos. Argilagos, a very decorated AIBA fighter, a silver medalist at the recent Rio Olympics, world champion in 2015, has picked up a Pan American Games silver, a silver medal in the recent American Championships as well, after winning that 2 years previously. He keeps losing to Eugen Martinez at the moment. Well, over the last year or so, did so in the Olympics, has done in WSB, and did again in Honduras in the American Championships. So that a little bit of a trend for him that he needs to reverse when they get to Germany, to Hamburg for the World Champs in late August, early September. And he lost 2 years ago in that final against the Arlans. There's a lot of travelling for the Cuban team, and they didn't start well. Some of them looked a little bit jaded, to be honest, and they cannot afford that tonight. Jusupov with a winning record in WSB, 9 wins and 6 defeats. Not that great a record this season, 2 wins and 3 reverses. Former Asian Championships gold medalist. They tend to keep their AIBA open boxing teams and their WSB teams separate, Kazakhstan, so I think only Abulkan Amankul, who got a bronze at the Asian Championships, has featured in both that Kazakhstan team and also the Astana Arlans in WSB. It's totally the opposite story for the Cuba Domadores. The 2 teams are the same. If you have the vest, you box in everything. You do not dare give it up at any point. Josipov had a really tight fight at York Hall against Niall Farrell, who went on to win a silver medal at the recent European Championships. Good performance from Farrell, really good performance on his WSB debut, so this could well be a tight one between Josipov and Argilagos. Astana Arlans winning the competition in season 3 and 5, the Domadores in seasons 4 and 6. Tie-break they needed against the Baku Fires and beat the British Lionhearts in Tashkent comfortably just over 12 months ago. So light flyweight opening bout of the final, 49 kilos, Temirtas Jusupov of the Astana Arlans and Yoshanus Argilagos on the right-hand side there in the blue corner of the Cuba Domadores. Just waiting for the thumbs up from ringside, just waiting for the officials to take their seats, I think. So here we go, opening bout of the night, and as outlined, this is important. All bouts important, of course, but the first one, particularly when you're up against the Cubans, can be equally important. They are used to getting out in front, and when they do get out in front, generally speaking, they stay there. They have lost once this season in the group stages, that was to Colombia. And then again in the first leg of the semi-final, but a 5-0 win on home soil saw them get through comfortably in the end. Nice stiff jab there from Josipov. Just looking to fire that left hand out. Argilagos keeping that guard high, looking to try and swing the left hand from low, from the hip. Right hand just caught the forearms there of Argilagos, who's looking to use that upper body, use those reflexes just to stay out of trouble. They have had a lot of boxing in recent times, these Cuban fighters. Around the Continental Championships, a lot of teams switched around their WSB lineups. British Lionhearts did, for example, plenty of other teams did as well, but the Domadores didn't. They were all out in Honduras, and they were all out in the playoff stages in every match as well, so they've had quite a lot on their plate. But they'll get a bit of a break after this for those World Championships in Germany at the end of August. Jab just not quite reaching there from Josipov. Nothing really solid has been landed by either of these two in the opening round so far. Body attack again was protected there by Argilagos, dropped the elbows. just held his feet on the inside for a second there, Argilagos, and the right hand almost got through from Jusupov. He was just slightly too close, if anything. Bell goes at the end of round one. Decent opening round, not that easy to pick a winner there. Those 2 stars denoting those 2 WSB wins. Cuba have got exactly the same on their kit. These have been the 2 standout teams over the seasons. Cuba more so, you would say, because they've only actually been in the competition since season 4, so they've reached the final in all 3 seasons, or 4 seasons now, that they've been involved. It was really tight 2 years ago here. There were 4 bouts, if memory serves, that went into the final round at 2 rounds apiece. Kazakhstan ended up winning 3 of them, and that, in the end, was the difference. There's a raucous atmosphere inside the arena over the course of those 2 nights as well. It's the one night this time, all 10 in one night. As I said, difficult to split them in that opening round. I might just about have gone for Jusupov, but it could really have gone either way. Just sticking out that right-hand lead there, Argilagos, and switches stance to southpaw. Good reflexes there from Argilagos. The crowd liked that. They thought it landed, but it didn't really. The right hand was just short. Looking for the right hand slightly over the top there, Argilagos. Jusupov is just a little bit hesitant at times as he tries to come in behind that right hand. There was a left there on the inside from Argilagos. And again, the crowd are enjoying this. They're getting behind their man, but he's just falling slightly short, and then he was tagged with the right hand there from Argilagos. Again, there's that left hand, and it didn't reach from Jusupov. He was trying to tee up the right. That's what he's looking to do, is just judge the distance with that lead left hand and then throw the right in over the top of it, over the back of it. It's not really working. Just chopping down with that right hand, just missed Argilagos there. That was better from Jusupov. He's got to commit a little bit more, but he knows that if he does that, then he's possibly leaving himself open to be picked off on the counter, and that's what Argilagos really wants him to do. So it's slightly a game of cat and mouse this at the moment. Combination, I think, was mainly taken on the gloves. Argilagos then jumps in himself, just warming up a bit towards the later stages of round 2. Southpaw again here from the Cuban. Switches back to orthodox. That was a better volley. A couple of those got through there from Jusupov. Well, Jusupov has got both rounds so far, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9 there. So 20 points to 18 on all 3 cards. Argilagos, I thought might just have shaded that second one. I probably would have just gone with Jusupov in the first, but it's been very, very tight. But Argilagos has got a mountain to climb here, unbeknownst to him. They won't know the scores in the corners. Good left hand there from Argilagos. Southpaw again here from the Cuban, then just flicks out the right hand, just swings it up from the hip as he stepped away to his right hand side. It seemed to land on Jusupov, not heavy, but I think it was a scoring punch. He's been quite cute, Argilagos. He doesn't know that he's trailing by 2-0 and could really do with upping the work rate a bit. There's a good right hand there from Argilagos again, just round the back of the guard, looking for the left. He's made contact with the inside of the glove more than anything. He's a straight puncher, Jusupov. Looks for 1-2s. That shortest route to the target. It does mean that he's got to get into range to throw them. Argilagos can and does jump in from the outside a bit more. Good left hand there from Jusupov. Slightly open there, the Kazakh, as he came forward. Heads almost coming together. Left hand scored there for Argilagos off the back foot. The reflexes shown by the Cuban again. Well, both of them just landed slightly after the bell there. There's nothing to get too excited about. Argilagos needs that round. Hasn't got either of the first two with the judges, but he needs to get that one. Orlando Asabal making a fairly forceful point to him in the corner there. The better work in that round, I do feel, did come from him. And he does get it, and he needed it. So just one round margin between these two, with 2 to go.
Round 4, dördüncü round.
Argilagos just lunging in a touch there on the front foot. Jusupov will welcome that. He's found the range a little bit difficult at times, Jusupov. Argilagos is that kind of opponent. He's slippery, he's elusive. And Jusupov, for the most part, has either been slightly too far away or slightly too close. But that's the kind of range more that he'll want it at. Just on the inside there, he's a muscular, strong fighter, Jusupov. And he won't mind mixing it like this at all. Right hand there again from Jusupov, just didn't quite make it. He's looking to force the pace a bit more in this fourth round, the Kazakh. Decent right hand, right to the body, followed by right to the head there from Jusupov. Not all that clean, but maybe just ricocheted onto the head of Argilagos via the glove. Just touching with the right hand there, Jusupov. And his work rate in this round might have been enough to get him this one. If Argilagos gets it, then it'll be 2 rounds apiece going into the 5th and final round, but Jusupov just seemed to force things a bit more there. He didn't really land anything particularly clean, but then again, nor did the man you're looking at now. There's been some very close rounds in this fight. Good example there, none of that really got through clean, but well, the left hand found the target. But it looks better for the judges if you're the man on the front foot throwing the punches than if you're the man standing with the guard nice and tight taking them. And Jusupov does get that round, so he's got a 2-point margin now going in to the 5th. So Argilagos needs something huge really here. He needs a 10-8 round just to tie this one up. And it would then go to judges' preference. So he's really got to put it on Jusupov here. These two will both know it's tight, I'm sure. And they will both know that they absolutely must win this final round. But we do know that for Argilagos, that won't be enough. A 10-9 will not be enough. I mentioned before the importance of a good start for the Astana Arlans, and you can't really overemphasize that. If you go behind to the Domadores, generally speaking, you stay there. The times that they've been beaten in WSB that I can think of, away to Ukraine in the group stages last season, in the finals here in season 5, away to Colombia in the group stages, all matches that I was commentating on myself, and then the first leg of the semi-finals against Colombia, they've fallen behind. They haven't been allowed to get off to that good start and get their noses in front, and Jusupov is on the brink of making sure the same thing happens here. And just sinking to the canvas there, Argilagos. I don't know what happened there quite, whether he maybe got one a little bit low, but touch of gloves. into the final minute. Jusupov just looking to load up a little bit more on that right hand, that backhand. It didn't quite land. Using his feet well here, the Kazakh, more than he has in the fight so far. So maybe he is relatively confident that he's got some kind of a lead. But having said that, he's perfectly willing to engage as well. It's certainly not been the case that he's looked to get on his bike. He's just used the perimeter of the ring, the outside of the ring, a lot more in this final round than he did in the previous four, and both of them look quite circumspect heading back towards their corners. It was a tight fight. Every single round was pretty close, pretty difficult to call, so I think the Cuban corner will be disappointed when they discover that they're not going to get this, because they're not going to get it. There's no way that final round was a 10-8 or anything like it for Argilagos, and that's what he needed. Jusupov was 39 points to 37 in front on all three scorecards. So he just needed to avoid a standing count, to be honest. A standing count wouldn't guarantee a 10-8 either, but it's that level of dominance that Argilagos had to achieve if he was to fight his way back into this.
Judge 1, 48-47. Birinchi daraja Fransiyaga qirishida. Judge 2, 48-47. Ikkinchi daraja Fransiyaga qirishida. Judge 3, 49-46. Uchinchi daraja Fransiyaga qirishida. Winner by unanimous decision winner is red corner, Temirtas.
So Jusupov gets it, two scores of 48-47, which means that those two judges gave Argilagos the final round. The 49-46 from Luca Badalonga means that Jusupov got the final round with the Italian judge. So Argilagos takes it well, it was close, but Jusupov gets it, and the Astana Arlans go into a 1-0 lead, just as they did 2 years ago when they won this competition. Suleymenov against Ibanьes up next at bantamweight. Ibanьes, the newcomer really to this Cuba Domadores team this season. He and Jose Lardoet at super heavyweight, they've been the ones who have replaced the likes of Rabesi Ramirez. Haven't seen him this season. Or Lenia Perro, so here's a tail of the tape for those two. Height advantage there for Suleymenov. Well, as mentioned, Ibanьes has had big boots to fill. Rabesi Ramirez has been the #1 at bantamweight for quite some time for the Cuba Domadores. Won gold at the Rio Olympics, having won a gold at the London 2012 Games at the lower weight. An absolutely supersonic fighter, but Ibanьes has done well. He's 4-2 in WSB, and he won a silver medal at the American Championships in Honduras, missing out to Dos Santos of the Dominican Republic. It has been a good season for him, but his team need him to level this one up now. Falling 2-0 down away from home would leave them with a fair amount to do. Ильяс Süleymenov for the Astana Arlans, 5-3 in WSB, but a really good season this season, 4-1. 4 wins and just the 1 defeat, so that's a good showing from him. Had a comprehensive win in the semi-finals against Chris Burke. Ilias Süleymenov, I saw that one and it was a good performance. So 56 kilos, Ilias Süleymenov on the left there of the Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan. On the right-hand side, Javier Ibanьes of the Cuba Domadores.
Bridge round, round 1.
Touch of holding and hitting there from Süleymenov. And his glove around the back of Ibáñez's head, and then was just trying to pump to the body with that right hand. Nice right hand to the body there from Süleymenov. Didn't really get through all that clean, but it moved Ibáñez all the same. It had a kind of shuddering impact. Just holding out that left hand, trying to measure the right hand. That's what he's looking for, Süleymenov. Just clubs away with it and looks for a left to the body. It's been a good aggressive start, this, from the Astana Arlan. Good left hand there, though, from Ibáñez. Boxes out a bit of a crouch, Ibáñez. Nice 1-2 there from Ibáñez. Went to the body with the left hand and then to the head with the right. It's warming up into a good fight, this. Minute to go in round 1, and there's Süleymenov again. That's what he looks for. Gets good kind of rotation into all those punches, puts plenty into it when he lets one go. He doesn't really just pop them out off the shoulder. He really turns at the waist and plows everything behind it. Referee David Williams just telling Süleymenov that when he says stop, he means stop. He's looking to try and get to work. There's that right hand again. Ibáñez has managed to keep those gloves nice and high so far anyway. And of round 1, good lively opener. So there are the scores. Suleymenov pocketing that first round, 10-9s all round.
Round 2,
Courtesy, I would say, mainly of those big banging right hands that he threw. None of them really caught Ibaniez. That one again, though, just knocks him down to a knee. It was the first one that really moved him. It's a slip there, says the referee. I think Debbie Williams has got that one right. The first right hand, which was kind of over the top, just caught him on the side of the head and moved him again there, Ibaniez. And when he followed it up, I think his footing did desert him. And down he went. He needs to be careful here, Ibaniez, because Suleymenov of these two has got the heavier hands. And just as he did in that first round, when he made him give ground with a body shot, he made him give ground with that right hand to the head. And that looks good to judges. Right to the body there from Ibaniez. It was a decent shot, but it's not really having too much effect on Suleymenov so far. He's just a strong, rugged kind of a fighter. And there again, he's almost holding a touch with the left glove round the back of Ibaniez's head as he bangs away with the right, but it was kind of on the blind side of the referee. He couldn't really see it. That was better from Ibaniez. Nice long sweeping left hand, made contact, followed by a right.
Stop. Stop.
There's that right again. Just steams in, climbs in behind that right hand once more. That's really, I wouldn't say it's all he's got, Suleymenov, but he doesn't have an enormous amount besides that. Ibaniez has got the better all-round boxing skills. Ibaniez just landing a left on the inside, but before that Suleymenov was just letting those hands go. Well, good to see the referee having a quick word with Suleymenov about that, because he's been at that since the start of the fight, not repeatedly or constantly, but at least a couple of times. There's that right hand that made him give ground. Just caught a bit square and tall there, Suleymenov, as he was getting his punches off. Split scoring, so 20 points to 18 with judges A and B. A and C, rather. Judge B gave that round Ibaniez's way. As I say, of the two, he has the better, slicker boxing skills, but Suleymenov, what he does is more eye-catching, because he is the one who's landed the biggest shots.
Round 3, üçüncü round.
Dipping in with that front foot there, Suleymenov, just seeing if he could draw something from Ibaniez. A bit messy in the opening 35 seconds of round 3. Judge B giving that round to Ibaniez, meaning that we've got one tied card. That was a nice left hand there from Suleymenov, just slipped away to his left and then clipped Ibaniez on the chin as he was on his way past. That's kept Ibanьes in it. That scoreline with Judge B. He's got a toe hold and he needs to try and build. Good upper body movement there from Ibanьes, just slipped away to his left-hand side. Better round this from the Cuban so far. Looking to really close the gap with that jab. Suleymenov tried to land the right hand, but the guard was in place there from Ibanьes. Short left on the inside from Suleymenov. Just staying on Suleymenov a bit more this round, Ibanьes. He's not really giving him any peace. He's not giving him any time to kind of load up and really let those hands go as much anyway. Good jab there from Ibanьes. Suleymenov had just launched a flurry before that, but none of them really got through. Some decent enough body punching on the inside there from Ibanьes. Crucial this round. If this goes the Kazakh's way with judges A and C, then he's very nearly out of sight. He would require some 10-8 rounds to be returned by Ibanьes. He looks to try and work to the body. Final 10 seconds of the round. Well, that was a decent round for Ibanьes there, I would say. Suleymenov is, I wouldn't say he's gassing, that would be a slight exaggeration, but just having a bit of a stretch as he gets back to the corner there. Ibanьes, to me, seemed to up the tempo. Suleymenov gets that one, 10-9 with all three of the judges. So he does open up that clear water now with judges A and C. I thought that was a decent round for the Cuban, but Suleymenov gets a nod from our three officials at ringside. So Ibanьes has got a lot to do here now. Jabbing to the body there, Ibanьes, is never a bad tactic because the chances are you will hit something. Some nice sharp inside work there from Ibanьes. Well turned though on the ropes by Suleymenov. Ibanьes just pinning Süleymenov's arm there. And that's exactly what David Williams is saying to him. Suleymenov just landing the right hand and looking out of the ring there. I think at the Cuban corner.
Stop.
Good sustained attack there from Ibanьes. The cameraman getting slightly too close to that one. Great action. Jab just landing slightly short there from Ibanьes, who's looking a little bit more ragged at times in the fourth round. Good right hand, good short right hand there from Suleymenov. And the difference between these two really has been that when Suleymenov has landed, every now and again, you can see the impact it has on Ibanьes. It's moved him back, it's caused him to give ground. And that's significant. Ibanьes has put some nice punches together, but it's never quite had that same effect. So one to go. It's the second fight of this season 7 finals night, and it looks very much as though it's going to be 2-0 to the Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan through 2 fights, which, for the neutral at least, kind of sets this final up perfectly, because the Cuba Domadores would have been favourites going into it, despite the fact that the last time they came here in the final they lost. Well, Ibanьes gets that one, the judges A and C, so the upshot of that is that it's 39 points to 37 on all 3 cards going into this 5th and final round, and Ibanьes needs something big. It's exactly the same scenario to face Yоханus Argilagos, his teammate at light flyweight. He needs a 10-8 here to tie this one up. Right hand from Ibanьes was kind of celebrated there by him, but he seemed to make contact with the inside of the glove, really. Never really been able to use that jab to any great effect, Ibanьes. Suleymenov is one of these fighters who launches raiding missions. He's looked a little bit tired, actually, since the 3rd round. Every now and again, he'll just go for a slight walk. The mouth is hanging open. He's sucking that air in. But then when he needs some energy, he'll find it. He'll jump in, throw 3, 4, 5 punches in quick succession, get back out again. Found that right hand quite so much in the last couple of rounds. there we have it, the conclusion of bout 2, and Suleymenov feels he's got this as he goes back to the corner. Slightly more muted response from Ibanьes. We know that Suleymenov will get it. There was no earthly way that that was a 10-8 round to Javier Ibanьes. Good performances from the Kazakh fighters in the opening 2 fights. Good defensive work there from Suleymenov, just taking all his weight back. Ibanьes couldn't reach him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have decision of Judge Committee. Judge 1, 48-47. Birinci derece 48-47. Judge 2, 48-47. Ikinci derece 48-47. Judge 3, 48-47. Üçüncü derece 48-47. Winner points by unanimous decision winner is red corner, Ilias.
Suleymenov gets it, 48 points to 47 on all 3 cards, which meant that all 3 judges, Yassasina, Ray Morley and Luca Vadalonga, gave that final round to Javier Ibanьes, but he was too far behind going into it. And Suleymenov gets the win, so the Astana Arlans take a 2-0 lead through 2 bouts. So there is significant pressure now when we head into the light welterweight of 64 kilos on Andy Cruz of the Domadores to get his team on the board. Well, the order, in fact, is heavyweight next. It will be Pinchuk up against Eruslandi Savon. So Savon, who is an enormously experienced campaigner, he is the man you would want in this situation, you would have to say. Just the one defeated WSB, that came against Colombia earlier in the season in Cartagena. Pinchuk 3-2.
To the blue corner of the ring, we invite the boxer representative Cuba, Domadores. Please welcome Savon.
Well, Savon seems to have been around forever. He was a world champion in 2009. Got a bronze medal at the Rio Olympics, silver medal at the Doha 2015 World Championships, gold at the recent American Championships. Sensational WSB record, as mentioned. Just that one defeat experienced this season. In the finals 2 years ago, he got the win against Vasily Levitt. It was really tight, though. He was running on empty towards the end, Savon, he really was. But Levitt needed a 10-8 in the final round. And he can't have been that far away from getting it. I remember it really clearly. The announcer at the end actually read out the verdict incorrectly, had a bit of a rush of blood and gave it to Levitt, and then it had to be reversed, and the crowd weren't happy with it at all. But it was an honest, genuine mistake, and Savon kept his team in it at that point. It was 3-2, and he needs to do the same kind of thing here, because were they to go 3-0 down, then all of a sudden they would find themselves in real difficulty. Anton Pinchuk makes his way to the ring. That is the trophy that we'll see presented at the end. 5 WSB contests, 3 wins and 2 defeats. Vasily Levitt went to the Asian Championships for Kazakhstan. As I say, the WSB and the AOB teams are often very, very different for Kazakhstan. Levitt got gold, the only non-Uzbek fighter to get a gold medal at the Asian Championships. Uzbekistan got 9 out of 10, which was a sensational performance by them on home turf in Tashkent. He's such a phlegmatic character, Savon. His facial expressions just barely ever change, whatever the circumstances in the ring, or outside it, actually. So this 91 kilos in the red corner, Anton Pinchuk of the Astana Arlans. In the blue corner, Eruslandi Savon of the Cuba Domadores. And as outlined, the Domadores need this one. They need Savon to step up here, as he has done so many times in the past for them. Savon's definitely one of those fighters who hits harder than you might think. He's got those kind of silky Cuban skills, but he can really pack a punch. I remember talking to Lawrence Okoli about him just a few weeks ago, and Savon and Okoli fought in the finals in Tashkent last year. Savon knocked Okoli down after about 10-15 seconds, and Okoli was pulled out at the end of that first round. Did well to get through the first round. He said he just got hit with a kind of chopping right hand. And all of a sudden he was on the canvas, hearing the judge get to the count of 5, wondering what had happened. Pinchuk just trying to find that right hand overbalanced a bit as he came forward, which could be dangerous for him. It looked good to the crowd though, did it look good to the judges? I'm not so sure. They'll have seen at ringside that that one didn't make it. Just leaping in with the left hook there, Savon. Fell short, leading with the left hook too, which can be a little bit dangerous. Final minute of round 1. Good jab there from Savon. 1-2 from Pinchuk again. The spectators enjoyed it, but it just landed on the gloves there of Savon. It was way short. Maybe a bit low, that right hand, as Pinchuk came forward there. It was a good shot, though, from Savon. It was well delivered, well timed. And he just wilted a little bit as it hit him there, Pinchuk. Decent opening round between these two. It's that little dabbing jab. Short right hand too. And that's where he just fell in behind that right hand there, Pinchuk. It's exactly the kind of thing that Savon will want him to do. And there's that right, I think it was a bit low actually. Let's have a look at the scores. So that opening 3 minutes. Well, we'll get a look at them at the end of the second round, I'm sure. So that was Savon's round myself, but there wasn't loads in it. Nice double jab there from Savon at the start of round 2. And then just looking to pop that jab out once more. That can be a real weapon for him. He's got the height advantage, that's for certain. And looks for the right hand. I think he's looking to be more aggressive in this second round here, Savon. He fancies this a bit against Pinchuk, who does tend to come forward, move forward and back in straight lines. which could be a big problem for him. Savon's decided he's going to open up a bit. He's an interesting fighter, Pinchuk, because he's always got that kind of half smile on his face, whatever the situation of the contest. And he always looks like he's enjoying himself in there. Again, he just fell in behind that right hand. You see when he throws that right hand every now and again, Pinchuk, his weight just comes forward. It comes over his front foot, over his front toe, and he just trots forward 2 or 3 steps. He can't stop himself, and that could be, well, it's perilous. Because if he walks onto one from Savon, he'll be in a lot of trouble. He's putting some real meat behind these punches now, Arlans Savon. He had a look in that opening round, and I think he's decided there's not an awful lot to fear here. Just did it again there slightly, but he knew he'd done it, and then just got his gloves up there, Pinchuk. Again, it is a flaw of his. Savon's not been able to capitalise so far because every time it's happened, he's been taking his weight back. But if he can draw that right hand, and then rather than retreat, just take half a step back maybe, then he could just bang Pinchuk as that weight is coming forward. It's the final 30 seconds of round 2. Got caught there just as he came in behind that right. Well, there are the scores. Savon's round. So 20 points to 18 with Judge A and B. So Judge C would have scored that opening round for Pinchuk. That's how that particular judge has arrived at a score of 19-19. The opening round was tighter than the second round. The second round was clearly Arlans Savon's. But he'll hang in there, Pinchuk. There's no doubt about that. He is tough. But I just don't think he's got enough for Arlans Savon. 22 wins and just 1 defeat in World Series boxing. It's the best record of anyone out there. Some of his Cuban teammates run him very close. It's exactly the same, actually, as Lazaro Alvarez, but Savon has got more stoppages than Alvarez. Iglesias, Julio La Cruz, 20 wins themselves, 4 defeats, 3 defeats. Veitia 22 and 3. It's a sensational Cuban team. They've hardly put a foot wrong since arriving in WSB, apart from here 2 years ago in what was a superb final. just slightly closed down his own space there, Esteban, as he was looking to launch that right hand. He was a touch too close. Jab to the body there from Savon. When you look at them in the centre of the ring there, the size difference between them seems big. It's not, because in terms of weight, they are the same. They're at 91 kilos. And this is AIBA boxing, remember, so you weigh in and then have to stay on the weight. Long right hand there from Savon. Made good contact on Pinchuk. Savon stands up a bit straighter than Pinchuk as well, which does make him look bigger, look taller. Final few seconds of round 3. Stepping in behind some of those long right hands there, Savon using that reach. His round again. So Cuba in control of this one, and they needed this one at 2-0 down. It's not over yet, but Pinchuk would have to do something absolutely exceptional here to turn this around.
Round 4, the shootout.
Again, just looking to line up that right hand. Jabs with a purpose and then throws that right hand off the back of it. The jab isn't just a range finder, it's a proper shot. He's doing okay here, Pinchuk. This was always going to be a very tall order for him. Right to the body was a good punch from there, Sabon, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Pinchuk just came forward, his weight just brought him forward, and Sabon held his ground and then just rammed that right hand right into the pit of his stomach. That half grin is still in place there, though, for Anton Pinchuk, even though this at times has been quite painful stuff, I'd imagine. Nice right hand off the back foot there from Savon, but Pinchuk doing better in that particular exchange. He's not that solidly built for a heavyweight, Pinchuk. He's got a funny kind of frame on him. I wouldn't really say he's carrying spare weight, but he just doesn't look to have filled out into a real heavyweight's frame. Having said that, there's just no way he could lose another 10 kilos, another stone and a half, and make it down to light heavy. Again, looking to really put his weight behind that right hand. Pinchuk could just manage to slip inside it, leading with the left to the body there, Savon, and just being warned by Ray Morley for just turning around, turning his back. Fifth and final round coming up. It's bout number 3. 2-0 to the Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan. It's about to become 2-1. Because that was Savon's round again. Well, one judge disagreed, but that means that he's completely out of sight with Judge A, and also out of sight, you would say, really, with Judge B and C, because you would need a 10-8 round here. Pinchuk to level this one up, and that is not going to happen. Savon with the left hand, but Pinchuk will certainly give it a good go, that much we do know. Nice little bit of weight transfer there from Pinchuk. Just moving forward onto his front foot. The right hand came in from Savon, and he just took it back. Crowd just trying to get behind Pinchuk here. Savon ends up on his backside, but certainly no knockdown. Gloves just being wiped off. Pinchuk looking for the jab, Savon for the 1-2, just slightly short. Just finding better range there, Savon. The first right hand was a little crowded. You have to have a lot of time for Pinchuk as a fighter. He really is a fighter. As I say, with that kind of devilish grin on his face, he always looks like he's enjoying it in there, and he will always come forward. He'll always bring it. Good work rate from these two in this contest as well. 5 rounds fought at a good tempo, and neither one of them is really looking like they're tiring going into the last 30 seconds. And Pinchuk just having a little word there with Savon, which the referee will leap on pretty quickly if he decides to chat too much. There goes the bell. Another good 5-rounder. Savon, though, was the better fighter of the two by a clear margin. So he will get the win there, and it will be 2 bouts to 1 to Astana Arlans after 3 contests. Nothing wrong, though, with that performance from Pinchuk. Just slightly outclassed. But he stuck at his task right until the very end.
Ladies and gentlemen, decision of judge committee. Judge 1, 45-50. Birinci dövüşe 45 kilo. Judge 2, 46-49. İkinci dövüşe 46-49. Judge 3, 46-49. Üçüncü dövüşe 46-49. Winner points by unanimous decision. Winner is blue corner, Savo.
And once again, when his team really needed him, Arlans has stepped up and he's won it 5-0 with Astana, 4-1 with David Williams and Luca Vallelonga. And Cuba needed that, so it gets them back into it, gets them on the scoreboard. Their first point. And 2-1 now to the Astana Arlans. And next up is the light welters, Dilmurat Mижitov up against Andy Cruz. Cruz, who stepped up to light welter from bantamweight this season. He actually qualified for the Olympic Games at bantamweight ahead of Robesi Ramirez, but Cuba wanted Ramirez there, and it may well have been that Cruz was outgrowing bantamweight anyway, because he stepped up from 56 to 64, so he's missed out lightweight, and he did qualify for the Olympics after the World Championships in Doha, thanks to his WSB record actually, but that was a good 8-9 months before the Olympic Games, and a lot can happen in that kind of time. He's got a sensational WSB record. That's all in the past that I was just discussing. The future is that he's 10-0 in this format and won gold at the recent American Championships. So he is a real force to 64 kilos and has dislodged Yasniel Toledo as the #1 in that weight category, as he was for quite some time in the Cuba setup. So that is no mean achievement in itself. So Cruz, a top quality operator. Dilmurат Mижitov, 3 fights and 3 wins in WSB so far. So 2 fighters putting their unbeaten records on the line here, and Mижitov will know that this is a tough task, a tough assignment against Cruz, but he's got that confidence of an unbeaten fighter, and he is at home as well. And he will see this, I'm sure, as a real opportunity to claim a good scalp and help his team on the way to what they hope will be their 3rd WSB title. This would be a big, big step for them if they could take this one. So into the first round, Andy Cruz in the white of Cuba, in the yellow and blue of the Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan, Dilmurат Mижitov. This in the light welterweight division, 64 kilos. Cruz looking for that jab and then just shouldering his man off slightly. The referee might have a quick word with him about that at some point. Nice uppercut up the middle there from Kruz, just dipped away to his right-hand side and then found the gap. Short right hook. He's a really busy fighter, Kruz. He's got good variety. I think this should be pretty entertaining because Mижitов is a come-forward kind of a fighter himself. Right to the body from Kruz was a good shot there as well. Right hand through the middle. He's landing regularly here, Kruz. Mijitov's just finding it difficult to get to Kruz. He's always just slightly out of range. He's either a bit too far away or a bit too close, Mижitов. That's the difficulty he's having so far, and the crowd quite quiet in this one, and that's because Kruz has put his stamp on this early. Jab to the body. I think that's a good move for Mижitov, because go for that body, you increase your chances of hitting something, and just touching your opponent gives you some confidence. Slightly after the bell, that right hand, but there wasn't really too much Mижitov could have done to have pulled it once he heard the bell. Well, the scores came up very quickly there, but I think it's 10-9 to Kruz. There we go. And that was clearly his round. That was an easy one to score.
Round two, Yogin round.
Jab to the body to kick things off for him. Round two there from Mижitov. Looking more positive at the start of this second round, Mижitov. Looking to try and take it to Kruz a little bit more, which could be slightly dangerous for him, but it's actually working pretty well so far. Good left to the body there from Mижitov. Wide left hand there from Mижitov, missed. Lovely left hand there from Kruz as he was just moving away. Stiff right hand too, and then just moves onto the shoulder of his man. As soon as Mижitov just slows down ever so slightly, then Kruz is on top of him. Combination on the inside and great head movement there from Kruz as well. Mижitov just can't really deal with this. There aren't too many fighters out there who could, to be honest. Right hand, right hook there from Kruz. Mижitov is trying to up the pace again towards the end of the round. No lack of effort here from the Kazakh. Lovely uppercut on the inside again there from Kruz, and just look at that upper body movement, just swaying back onto the ropes and picking Mижitov off when his gloves are down. And I just wonder, I'm beginning to wonder at least, whether he's going to last out the 5 rounds here, Mижitov, because he's getting hit a lot. Short right hand to the side of the head, and Mижitov unable to do too much in reply. Well, Judge B gives that round to Dilmurат Mижitov, which is pretty incredible, to be honest, but judges A and C go the way of the Cuban. So into the third, this is 64 kilos. In the white shorts with the red and blue trim and gold waist is Andy Kruz of the Cuba Domadores. In the yellow and blue of the home team of the Astana Arlans is Dilmurат Mижitov. And Mижitov comes out nice and quick at the start of the third round. He did that at the start of the second round. It's just very difficult to sustain it. Kruz just kind of leading with a right uppercut there. Stiff right hand again there from Kruz, and then just dips away to his left-hand side. Coaching staff of the Astana Arlans, led by Nurlan Okopekov. Just right to the body there from Mижitov, and then look for the left on the other side. He's doing well in this round so far, better than the other 2 rounds, I would say. Kruz, again, just changes those angles and finds scoring punches. Kruz is shooting that jab back to the ropes. It's a tighter round. by my way of looking at it. Towards the end of it there, he's just been clipped 3, 4, 5 times. Nice right hand there, though, from Mижitов, just before the bell. Split scoring again, so 30 points to 27 with judges A and B. Judge B has got Mижitov just in a lead there. I could see how you might give that last round to Mижitov. You could possibly have given that his way. I wouldn't have done myself, but Judge B's scorecard there sticks out a bit because I think Kruз has quite clearly been the better of these two so far.
Round 4, dördüncü round.
Kruz is not happy there at all. Went down with a slip, and I think he felt that Mижitov piled in a bit when he was down, and he may well be right, but Mижitov is coming out with some aggression again at the start of this fourth round. I wouldn't blame him too much, because you start letting your hands go, it's difficult to stop mid-combination, and there was a point there at which you could see him stop himself. Nice 1-2 there from Kruz. Mижitov is maybe trying to rough him up a bit in this fourth round. He may as well try that. I don't think it'll work, but he's got to do whatever he can to try and disrupt Kruz here, to see if he can make him lose his head and lose his composure and his shape and his technique a touch, because if he holds those together, then you can't really see how Mижitov is going to be able to turn around a 30 points to 27 deficit with two of the judges. It's a hell of an ask. Side there from Kruz, and Mижitov I think is a bit weary because he's looking to hold on whenever he can, really. Still trying to cut off the ring, though, Mижitov, and put Kruz under as much pressure as he can. And there is the odd little complaint there from the Cuban. Long right hand there from Kruz, and looks for the same thing again. Mижitov is almost all in. He's keeping going right until the very end, but he doesn't have an awful lot left.
Seconds out.
Well, split scoring again, but he's in the driving seat there, Cruz. Level on one card, 2 points up with Judge A, 4 points up with Judge C. The crowd just trying to lift Dilmurат Mижitov. I think they can see from ringside exactly how much he's put into this, but how difficult it has been. And this will tie things up at 2 bouts each, with just one more to go in the C1 categories. One more before we hit the midway interval, and it will be at middleweight between Abelkan Amankul and Arlen Lopez, and that should be a really fascinating fight, and it will be very important too. It will give one team the edge after the first 5 bouts. Looking to try and attack the body there with Mижitov. He's done everything he possibly could to keep pace with Cruz, to force the pace, to try and make it uncomfortable for Cruz. You just cannot ask any more of him. But there has just been a difference between the two in terms of skill, in terms of pure boxing ability, and that gulf he has not been able to bridge. Just clips him around the back of the head there for good measure, Mижitov. Final 30 seconds. And still he just shimmies forward there, Mижitov, just looking to see if he can just catch Cruz clean one more time before the end of this fight, quickening up those feet, but walk straight onto a short right hand. Turning southpaw there, Cruz, very, very briefly. Mижitov looking for the big finish, and again, he's still after his man, but it's Cruz who's going to get that one. He knows it, Mижitov knows it too, and I think the crowd inside the Sports Palace in Astana, I think they know it as well. Kazakhstan, a country with a huge boxing tradition. Enormously popular here, the sport of boxing, and World Expo actually in Astana this year. They were hoping to get Gennady Golovkin back over here to defend his world middleweight titles as part of that. Hasn't materialised, unfortunately, but it turned out in numbers for the Astana Arlans.
Judge 1, 47-48, birinchi dörüşe 47-48. Judge 2, 48-47, ikinci dörüşe 48-47. Judge 3, 45-50, üçüncü dörüşe 45-50. Winner points by split decision. Winner is blue corner,
Andy Cruz gets it. One judge gave it 50 points to 45, which would have been nearer what I would have gone for. 48-47 in favour of Andy, in favour of Dilmurат Mижitov. It's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. Yas Orsino giving it 48-47, so 3 rounds to 2 in favour of Andy Cruz. Mижitov put a lot into that, but Cruz was the better man and rightly gets the win, so it's 2 apiece heading into the 5th and final fight of the first half of this final at middleweight, and it's a really interesting one. Arlen Lopez of the Cuba Domadores, the reigning world champion, the reigning Olympic champion, the recently crowned 2017 American champion, but he's had a poor season in WSB. Just 1 win and 3 defeats. 2 against Jorge Vivas, who he then went on to beat in the American Championships final in Honduras. 14-3 going into the season. There's now 15-6. Not the kind of form you would expect from somebody who's picked up the hardware that he has in recent times. Also lost to Israel Madrimov in the first leg of the tie against the Uzbek Tigers. But he's a terrific fighter, Lopez, and I'm sure he will feel that he's got something to prove. Winner last season, of course, in season 6 when he stopped Troy Williamson in the final. Williamson of the British Lionhearts. He's got really strong, thick, wide shoulders on him, Lopez. When you see him up close, it's kind of hard to believe that he's at 75 kilos. He looks like a light heavyweight. Well, Mankul is a young fighter and he's been impressive in WSB this season. His first season, 4 fights, 4 wins. Did go to the Asian Championships and picked up a bronze medal, and he's of a similar kind of stature to Lopez. He's a really strong, muscular boxer in terrific condition, and he will see this as a chance to really plant a flag here. If he can beat Lopez, then that would be some achievement. So a lot to look forward to here. As I mentioned, Lopez with a poor WSB season, but that gold medal in the American Championships. A Mankul with a bronze in the Asian Championships, really good WSB season. Middleweight bout, Abukana Mankul of the Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan on the left there, on the right Arlan Lopez of the Cuba Domadores. Lopez boxing out of the blue corner for Cuba, and Mankul out of the red corner for Kazakhstan. This is the middleweight division, 75 kilos. Mankul is southpaw, Lopez orthodox. 2-2 after the first 4 bouts. Lopez looking to dart out that jab, followed it in with the right hand. The crowd's trying to get behind a Mankul here. He's looked very mature in his performances so far, but he's still a young fighter. And he's in with someone here who has been there and won it all. Literally every single major title he could have won, Lopez, he has won. It's the southpaw stance now, Lopez. Heavy looking left hand there from Lopez. Left to the body, it's a good shot there from the ankle. Right hand there from Lopez. He's got to be careful on ankle because Lopez has got heavy hands. As they both just look to open up. Decent opening round. Ankle just looked a little bit stiff, a little bit tense in that first 3 minutes, understandable. Well, 2 judges go from ankle there, 1 for Lopez. There wasn't an awful lot in that round. I thought Lopez probably landed the cleaner, heavier shots, to be honest, but ankle's got it. 2 judges to 1. Good start for him.
Round 2, Йоханус.
Left hand there from ankle, got through. And I think the heads might have come together there because Lopez just dabbed at his forehead. No cut. Right to the body was a good shot there from Lopez, and he uses it again. They're just shoulder on shoulder, and ankle bent forward, bent over quite a long way, just exposes that stomach area, that rib cage area. Lopez looking to try and take advantage. A little bit low, I think, that right hand, and the referee giving him ankle some time to recover here. He's not going to take a point from Lopez, but ankle needs to be given all the time he needs to recover so that when he does resume boxing, he's in a fit state. Fighters can tend to rush their way back a bit, I find. They're always keen to get back on with it, and maybe they should just take a little bit more time and make sure they're absolutely okay. Almost pretty much bang on the borderline as well, that right hand there from Lopez. You need to be careful if he throws another one of them and catches the ankle low. The point will go because he did get a proper warning there from Astana. right to the body. It's a good punch for Lopez, though. Goes to the end of the second round, and it was 2 rounds to 1 in favour of Amankel at the end of that first round. Good left hand there from Amankel as Lopez was coming in. Clipped him really sweetly. And there was that low blow, and it was low too. And he knew it, Lopez. Well, split, but exactly the other way around. So a round each after the first couple.
Round 3, Mission round.
Jabbing to the body, and then the right hand again there from Lopez was a bit south of the border, I thought. I don't think it really landed because the left arm was down there to partially block it, accidentally really, from Amankel. He's got to be careful though, the Cuban though, because otherwise he'll be in danger of a point going. And in a contest like this, that could be fatal really. Sweeping right hand there from Lopez. Didn't really land clean. There's that right to the body again, but he's in very good condition, Amankel. He's taking those, no problem. That's a nice left hand from Lopez. They were just disentangling. He took a step back and then caught his man clean, but just he's winding up a bit too much here, Lopez, maybe. Amankel just keeping his boxing together a bit more. Amankel whips one into the body with his left hand. And it's Lopez who's looking to try and turn this more into a toe-to-toe fight here. Gum shields come out. Lopez's gum shield. Nice combination there from Amankel. He's missed him quite a lot in this round, Lopez. And as I say, I think it's because he's been looking for the big shot, the big punch. Maybe he feels that he can bully his younger opponent here, and it would appear that he can't. But he's just been looking for that big finisher, that big bomb, a bit too eagerly. Well, it's tight again, split scoring again, but judges A and B go with a Mankel in that round. It was a very tight round. And so a point advantage for him with those two judges, a point advantage for Lopez with Judge C. So this very much in the balance. And it's a big 2 rounds coming up now, because in the context of the match, this could be important. What has tended to happen in 2-legged affairs with the Domadores, though, is that the C1 category has gone to the opposition. It did so against Colombia, it did so also against Uzbek Tigers, and then in the C2s, they've been utterly dominant. So were they to be 3-2 behind at the halfway stage, they would not be too worried about that. But it won't be where they would want to be. And this 4th round crucial, because if the Mankel gets it with judges A and B, then he is all but there. He walked onto a stiff left hand there, though, Mankel, as he was trying to come in. Body attacks have not really put a dent in a Mankel at all, which is pretty impressive, because, as I mentioned, Lopez can whack. Mankel obviously in very good condition. He looks it, that's for sure. They both do. Left hand there from Lopez. Left to the body from a Mankel. Mankel just shooting that backhand, that left hand. Slipped over the shoulder there of Lopez. I think they're both beginning to feel the pace a bit here. It's been intense. As WSB bouts always are, the standard this year has been as high as ever. The matches have been very competitive. I've seen a lot of them. A number of 3-2 scorelines. And the first half of this final, whichever way it goes, will be the same. Well, there you go. Split scoring again, the same as it was in round 3. So 38 points apiece on all 3 cards going into this 5th and final round. And it could not be, this match could not be any tighter. 2 bouts apiece, 2 rounds apiece in this 5th bout. And this is what it was like 2 years ago. We had 4 bouts out of the 10, which had exactly that scoreline going into the 5th and final round. Astana Arlans won 3 of them, Cuba Domadores won 1 of them, and that was what gave the Astana Arlans their 6-4 2-point margin of victory overall. And Lopez starting around nicely there, with a probing right hand, and then just fired a left straight down the middle. They will both know that this is tight. They will both have been sent out, told by their corners that they must win this 5th and final round. a minute into it. Lopez has had the better of it so far, I would say. It could be that we'll see a frenetic final minute. And here comes the home crowd. I know that the Mankell is going to have to dig really, really deep here. Mankell just trying to jab. Good left to the body there from Lopez. But the pace has dropped, it's dipped in this concluding round. Left hand there from Lopez. Didn't land completely clean, but just clipped the jaw of the Mankell. Some blood coming from someone somewhere. And it's been tight this again. That's a good left hand from Lopez. And the Cuban is having the better of this round, this final round so far on my card. And it's our judges at ringside who matter. And Lopez is trying to shrug a Mankell off and get back on with the action. And Mankell is the one of the two who's looking to hold on a little bit more. I think Lopez has stayed the course a bit better than the home fighter in this final round. And as soon as they were broken up there, Lopez just landed a cheeky little short left. And the Cuban looking to finish strongly, and that's his round for me. We'll have to wait and see which way it goes. Good fight. Nice to see the two of them just embrace at the final bell. Lopez, I think, feels that he's done enough. They feel he has. I feel he has. But it was teed up at 2 rounds apiece going into that final round, remember? So very, very tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the decision of each committee. Judge 1, 47-48, British Division, Judge 2, 47-48, English Division, Judge 3, 47-48, winner points by unanimous decision. Winner is blue corner, Arlans.
So Lopez gets it. He won that final round with all 3 of the judges to take it 48 points to 47, and that means that at the halfway stage it's Cuba who are leading 3-0, which is a good comeback. They were 2-0 down after light flyweight to bantamweight, but winning the bouts at heavyweight, then light welterweight, and then middleweight, they take that 3-2 lead going into the C2 weight categories, and those bouts will be with us shortly. We're expecting around about a 15-minute interval here, and then we will be back with the C2 weight categories.
В нашем зале человека, который пришел поддержать нашу команду Astana Arlans, обладателя пояса WSB International, нашего земляка Бекмана Сулейменова. Давайте покажитесь, аплодисментами встретим его. А также в зале присутствуют наши именитые боксеры, олимпийские чемпионы, обладатели кубка Вэлла Баргера, Бахтияр Ардаев. Также в зале присутствуют наши именитые боксеры, олимпийские чемпионы, обладатели приятная новость. Сегодня с утра мы получили хорошие новости из Соединенных Штатов Америки. Наш Арлан, наш земляк Мейрим Нурсултанов одержал третью победу на профессиональном ринге. Техническим нокаутом, уважаемые друзья.